Hi, this is Mr. Max. I am doing possibility diagrams and independent events. I'm going to do 3 questions. This content is suitable for learners who are doing grade 10 and grade 11 in Namibia. This is the new syllabus, and also the learners who have grade 12 extended level. You can use these 3 questions, comes from your textbooks that you use at school, and revise your work accordingly. So let us start. So this question 1 says two spinners have sectors numbered from 1 to 5. Each is spun once and each number is equally likely. We are supposed to find a few answers to a few questions. We are supposed to find the probability that both spinners show the same number. And for us to find that, of course, what it means that if you spin, you get a 1 and another 1, you get a 2 and a 2, a 3 and a 3, a 4 and a 4, a 5 and a 5. So these are the outcomes, these are the possibilities. And this little grid here is a 5 by 5 grid. So the total number of possible outcomes is out of 25. So it should be 5 out of 25, which then simplifies to 1 over 5. The second part says find the probability that the sum of the numbers of the two spinners is 7. So what I did is I brought the table back and I added. Alright, so we're looking for the sum that once you add 1 plus 1, whatever the sum is, you get 7. Alright, so after adding, you realize you get 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the possible 25. And that is the probability. Question 2. Two unbiased spinners are used in a game. One spinner is numbered from 1 to 6 and the other spinner is numbered from 1 to 3. Then the scores, remember they are being multiplied together, then the scores are recorded in the table. So you have got the first spinner from 1 to 6 as you can see here, the second spinner from 1 to 3, and once you multiply, like 1 times 1 is 1, 3 times 2 is 6. All of these are the possible outcomes. Now, they say find the probability that the outcome is even. Now, this is very easy. You just go to your space and then you check all the possible even answers. So you have got 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 out of 18. Okay, 18 is 6 times 3. And you can simply simplify that and it gives you 2/3. Then there's a B part that says if the outcome is even, all right, like for example, we already determined if the outcome is even because we know there are 12 even numbers here in our grid. Find the probability that it is also greater than 11. So you just pick on the even ones. So numbers greater than 11 is this 12 here, this 12 here, and this 18 here. And there are 3 out of the 12 even possible answers. And you simplify that and you get 1/4. Question 3. The diagram shows a spinner of 6 numbered sectors. Some of the sectors are shaded. Each time the spinner is spun, it stops on one of the 6 sectors. As you can see here, it is equally likely that it stops on any one of the sectors. So it can stop on any one of the other sectors. First question. The spinner is spun once. Find the probability that it stops on a shaded sector. Now this is very easy. You have got 4 out of a possible 6, and that should be the answer for that question. And it simplifies to 2 over 3. Then say you are supposed to find the probability that it stops on a sectored numbered 1. Sector number 1. So you have got 1, 2, 3 out of the possible 6, and that is giving you 1/2 as an answer. The third question here says you are supposed to find the probability that it stops on a shaded sector numbered 1. So there are only 2 shaded sectors out of the 6, and that gives you 1 over 3 as the answer there. A fourth question says a sector, find the probability that it stops on a shaded sector or a sectored number 1. So on a shaded one or on a sector number 1. So you have to be a bit careful. You have got 4 out of 6. You have got 3 out of 6 ones. Then you're supposed to subtract the 2 that are not shaded, and that gives you 5 over 6 is the answer that we're looking for. Okay, so I took here the 4 out of 6 sectors that are shaded, and I added the 3 ones. All right, when you deal with OR, you always have to add, but we're not there yet. And then I took away the 2 out of the possible 6 so that I can get my final probability, which is 5 over 6. The question continues. It says the spinner is now spun twice. Now you're supposed to come up again with a possibility table. Well, so my possibility table is here, and what I did here is I've added all the values with each other. So 2 plus 1, for example, gives you 3. 10 plus 1, for example, gives you 11, or 10 plus 10 gives you 20. Okay, so now we are supposed to find from this 36 grid here. Okay, if you multiply, you realize 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we have this 36 little squares here. Okay, it's a 6 by 6 grid. So out of these 36, you're supposed to find the probability that a total of the two numbers is 20. As you can see, I've highlighted here, it's only 1 out of the 36 that is going to give you a sum of 20. Then the ones that give you a sum of 11, I've indicated with green here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 36, which then simplifies to 1 over 6. The question continues and says that the spinner stops on a shaded sector. Find the probability that this sector is number 2. All right, so let me bring them back. So what I did here, this colors here in orange, if you can say that, these are your shaded ones, that if you have the shaded ones and you get this possible outcomes. Okay, the ones that are not shaded are obviously those values, or those that are not shaded in this on the spinner. Now if you are looking for a probability that this sector is numbered 2, then they can only be out of the shaded part. Now let us see first of all how many number 2s do we have in the shaded part. We only have 4, but it have to be 4 over the shaded one. So if you look at the shaded one, it's 3, it's 6, it's 9, it's 12, it's 15, it's 16. So the answer should be 4 out of 16, which simplifies to 1/4. The next question says the spinner stops on a sector number 2. It's numbered 2. Find the probability that this sector is shaded. So let me just bring my table back again. So it says that the spinner stops on a sector number 2. We are supposed to find the probability that this sector is shaded. Now if you look nicely here, you have got the possible number 2s is 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so if you see, I take all my 2s because it stops on a number 2, and I have 3, 6, 9 2s here out of this possible 36. Okay, and for it to land on the 36 there, then I take all my possibilities I have 9 out of 36. Then also I must add with the 4 that are shaded out of the 16 that are shaded, and that final answer gives me 1/2. That is the probability that this sector is shaded. This brings me to the end of that small presentation. There are more exercises like this in your textbooks that you can find on the topic that I've covered. I am going to cover some more topics during the week, and also don't forget you can get into touch with my Google Classrooms, and these are the different codes that you have. Again, I'm going to put up paper 3 of core. I am doing 2017. I have uploaded paper 1 of core earlier in the weekend, so expect also a high level question paper, and I think I will do the one of last year. Don't forget to subscribe and to like my channel, also the notification bell, so that you can get notifications as I put up the videos. Thank you very much.